Are you ready for a cost-effective, successfully proven innovation in pain relief? You need wait no longer. Introducing the Kesh Pain Pad. Using plasma technology, which is based on magnetic gravitational field interaction, the Kesh Pain Pad emits plasma fields that penetrate up to 3 centimeters below the skin, helping to bring the body back to balance. The Kesh Pain Pad offers a natural way to relieve acute and chronic pain for both young and old. All you have to do is apply the pad on affected areas for 1 or 2 hours once or twice a day. It's made with adaptive elastics that can form organically and comfortably to the contours of your body. It has no moving parts or batteries. It's lightweight, durable, easy to wear, and easy to remove. The Kesh Pain Pad successfully reduces muscular pain, tendinitis, wrist pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, back pain, pain from sprains and strains, and knee pain, just to name a few. For a full list of relievable pains, consult the owner's manual or go to our website at www.keshfoundation.org. The Kesh Pain Pad, a cost-effective, successfully proven, natural way to relieve your pain.
Plasma products found at keshfoundation.org/store. Soothing, reusable plasma eye and migraine mask. Eliminate eye fatigue and relieve stress in eye area. European certified medical device. Massaging plasma insoles. Bring comfort back to your feet and energize your legs. European CE certified medical device. Antiseptic plasma liquid hand soap. Promotes well-being and relaxation with protective plasma formula. CE certified. One Soul Plasma T-shirt. Gans formula within the symbols and stripes brings mind, soul, and body into balance. European certified. Pain Relief Pen. Emits a concentrated plasma field at point of pain, efficient up to 3 centimeters below the skin. CE certified. The Magrav's Energizer and Alkalizer raises pH and energizes water through magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Pain Relief Pad, a result of years of research in nanoplasma technology with magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Visit the online store at keshfoundation.org/store. or find a distributor near you. Tax and shipping not included.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is the Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute 30th Public Testimonial Meeting for Monday, May 13th, 2019. It's amazing we've gone through 30 months of these now. I'm your host, Flint Mulhausen, along with Rick Raymond and Pia Larson and Danny Moe. So the second Monday of every month is our testimonial meeting for all of you out there in the public to let us know how Kesh technology has transformed and changed your lives in any form. Gans's, nanocoating materials, whatever health devices or anything that you've made, please come in and share. Welcome, Rick and Danny.
Hi, Flint, and thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, Flint. Hi, Rick.
Hello.
Hi, Pia. Hi, everyone. Good to be back. It's 2.5 years, 30 months. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And we're still like a baby. It's like 30-month-old baby.
Isn't that the terrible twos?
Yeah. So, does anybody here have any testimonials that you'd like to start out with in sharing with the world?
I see we have a number of attendees here that remind them they can put their virtual hand up in order for it to allow them to speak.
Yep.
Do we have any new testimonials on the website, maybe?
There is a couple of new ones there. Let me look at that.
So we can warm up. What about yourself, Flint? You had great results using the Ganses for shedding a few pounds. Are you still at it?
Yeah, I'm still on it, and I'm up to 70 pounds now. But it's pretty much stabilized around that.
Wow.
So
you only weigh 70 pounds?
Yeah, no, I lost 70 pounds, but I'm down to 170 now from 243.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So, and I hit 168 last week, but it always floats around 5 pounds. So I could say from 168 to 172 or 3, depending on the day. And that's, I think, a normal. Our bodies always aren't exactly the same weight every single day.
And that's probably a normal weight for your height.
I think so. Yeah, it's about my high school weight. So
yeah,
I'm happy I've reached that.
We don't want to go back to your 30-month weight.
Yes, the weight that I was when I was 12. Not.
Our next testimony. And I lost some more weight. And now I'm only 70 pounds.
I'm skin and bones. No, I'm not going to.
Maybe we can actually shrink too and become like we were when we were children. In a way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best way to go. And that actually happens to some people as they get older. Sometimes they revert back to their childhoods, they say.
Yeah, there's some weird disease like that, isn't there?
Well, it's also one of the effects of the Gans water that some people have been finding, not going back to their childhood necessarily, but getting, for example, some women have been getting their menstrual periods even though they've gone through menopause and that sort of thing. So it seems to be a rejuvenator one way or another.
Yeah, correct. Constantine, you have your hand up there. Sure, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Constantin from Romania, and I want to present a short testimonial for agriculture, if it's free.
Yeah, how are you going to present? Is it verbally? You need to share video or what?
Yes, I have some picture, and I just speak about the short results.
Yeah, go ahead. Give us the background of what you did to set it up, and go ahead there. Yeah.
Yes, I need to share the screen.
No problem.
Thank you. My option is not allowed to share the screen.
Sorry about that. I actually need to promote you. Sorry.
You have the screen with Cash Foundation. You already sharing.
You should be able to go there. Yeah, do that now, Constantine.
Okay, you see my picture?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is about my parents' garden. I have Close to Bucharest is I have a beautiful garden, and in the last 3 years I put.
Can you just share
Yes.
the Windows media player file there and not your desktop? We see your chat there.
Yes.
Just minimize that window.
Yes, of course. Now it's okay.
Yes.
Okay. And last year I present a short testimonials with the core. You can see my mouse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the position where last year I put the core in the ground, and I feeding with the plasma water. And in the back of the garden, I put other corn, and I feeding with the normal water, and I have results with double size of the corn, which is feeding with the plasma water. And this year I start with my parents because I educate my parents to feeding all the plants in the garden with plasma water, and I put this year this installation. This installation is take the water from the fountain, and this water in this installation, I put like 1 cup. I put 3 cups. 1 cup with plasma water and the Gans from washes. When I made the Gans, when I wash the Gans, I sent the plasma water and the Gans, because it's also the Gans, I using in agriculture with of course with the salt. And I educate my parents to put 3 cups of different type of ganses, depends what we need. And we fill the installation with normal water. And after we make this procedure, we just leave for 24 hours the plasma water with what I think we have also inside 2 milliliters of Gans. And we nano coating inside of installation with the Gans, because I want to start to feeding my garden with fields, because each tube create a different have a different size and create different fields in the garden. And after 24 hours, I just release the normal. I just release the plasma water with the water from the fountain, because we just need to feeding our plants. And we start this experiment in the last year, because last year we create a compost. This is a part of my garden. I just want to find a picture with the compost. 1 second, and I come back. This is the compost. This is the compost is made from organic parts who are released from the nature or from the animals, and we stock everything, and I put a mix of plasma water inside of I just wash it everything with plasma water, and this compost is creating a battery. After we take everything from the nature, from the plants in the autumn, we just release this plasma battery is a compost. We release to the fields to create a better blanket for the winter. Also, in the summer, before to put other seeds inside of the ground, we put this compost, and also I just nano coating all the garden with manual manual nano coating with a bottle and with plasma water and normal water to create a better fields for the plants and for the seeds. After in the left and in the right of my garden, I have the neighbor. This is the right, and in my right, the neighbor is feeding the plants with the normal water. But the neighbor from the left is feeding the plants with chemical NPK, is nitrogen, chemical nitrogen. And I want to show something interesting who's attract me. I just feeding only with I put in installation only one time a CH3, and 2 days ago I put CO2 and copper oxide, but I don't have the picture. In 2 days I have a new picture with experiment. And I want to show what's happened. Here you see this is the right neighborhood, and I don't neighbor, and I don't have the installation. It's like 4 meters, something like this, from the installation and to in his culture. And in the right, I have very close the installation and very close neighbor culture. I want to show, this is the garden, this is the strawberries. I have a lot of results, and I like very good the color of the plants. Also, what I see a different structure of the plants. I want to show the other album. Okay, this is from 28 April, and the first was from 21 April. Okay, I just want to show the neighbor onion. Okay, this is my right neighbor with his onion and his garlic, green garlic and green onion. And this culture is feeding with normal water. And you can see is growing very good, but in the same time is just losing the energy and starting to create a yellow color of the culture, and they are not very happy. And I want to show the difference of the neighbor who feeding with NPK. One moment. Okay, this is from the right, is a normal water. You can see, I don't think, is I want to mention is this culture is creating in the same time with our culture, in the same period, but we feeding different. Okay, and this is this is the culture from NPK with on the left neighbor, and you can see his onion. This onion also received the fields of the plasma installation because it's like 30 centimeters or 1 meter maybe from my culture, and you can see this this feeding, this color is are receiving from our installation. Also, NPK creates a green color, but you can see also the yellow color, just because they're receiving more energy than his need, and is also is toxic energy, and the plants are not very good, are not very happy. And you can see my plasma culture. And I have other in respect with neighbor from right, and in respect with neighbor in the left. Okay, this is the installation. It's very close to his onion culture, and you can see the difference. You can see the color the color is more green than his color, or okay, and you can see I like this. I like this color, this culture, because the onion is very straight. You can see this mean we have a good battery in the soil, and all the leaves stay very straight, and this is like a happy plant. And I want to show also the color. I don't think is very good picture, but is in the middle of the day. Okay, and you can see the color of the plasma with feeding with the plasma. This is the installation, and this is very close also the neighbor with MPK, and you can see the difference of the color. Okay, and my experiment is running because I want to see what's happened after I put CO2 and copper oxide, and I want to measure the onion and the garlic from the plasma culture, or also from the garden from our neighbor. This is the onion from the neighbor, MPK. You can see how is looking. And this is in the left. In the left is garlic, and in the right is onion plasma. You can see it stay very straight, and my culture look very fine. And I just want to wait to see what's happened with other culture, from strawberries, from wine, and other plants. What my parents put in the plasma garden. Our culture looks very green and stay very straight. Look the difference. Look the difference from two cultures. In the left is the installation with plasma, nano coating inside, and outside is feeding with plasma water. And in the right is MPK. And what I see the leaves start to moving in my garden, in the direction to my garden, because they receiving a lot of fields from here. And you can see everything is on the left, not in the direction of the sun, because the sun came from the right in this position. And the leaves came, all the leaves who are powerful came in the right, because in the plasma garden have a lot of good fields. And this is my short testimonials for the people who are using the plasma water in the agriculture, and I can make other presentation when I have other results. If anyone have some question.
Thank you, Konstantin. Can you explain again how exactly you watered through the hoses to get the Gans water applied?
Yes, when I wash the Gans with plasma water with salt inside, what I wash, I put in another recipient, and I use it in agriculture, and I use like 60 milliliters for one feeding session for all the garden.
How did you get that applied to all the garden?
How can I apply?
Yeah.
I just open the installation, and I put with the cup, I put inside. First time I put the plasma water. After this, I put the water in the middle of installation. When the water is in the middle of installation, I stop the installation. I open the installation. I put another cup. I put another water, and when is fill, when is finish, when is fill all the installation, I put another cup to be in the first, in the middle, and in the back, to be the Gans, the plasma water. Sorry. And I think I have also in this cup I have like not more than 2 milliliter of Gans. And this is the yes.
So how does that get through the hoses? Because hoses is hooked up to
Well, you have a reservoir, is that correct? Like
yes, I have electric pump. I have electric pump.
How many
okay.
How big? How
Is a
big?
system for
How many gallons or how much is in the reservoir in your tank?
it's not a reserve. I take the water from directly to the fountain. I have we have a hole, and we take from inside river, like you say.
Okay. So how do you get the
Yes.
Gans water into the system then? You just have a part in the pipe where you pour it into the pipe?
No, I just open the installation.
What do you mean by installation? What do you mean by installation then? Maybe we need to learn more.
The tube. I open the principal tube, and yes, and I put plasma water, normal water, plasma water, normal water, plasma water.
I see. Okay. And you have to turn off the system when you do that. Turn off the pressure, and then add the Gans, and then turn the pressure to close it and turn the pressure back on. I see.
Yes, of course. Yes. But I want to use more the fields because I want to nano coating inside the tubes, because all the tubes create the good environment. But also I release the water inside because I have good results, and it's very cheap to create a better field for the garden.
And is it true you've used no fertilizer on this? No artificial fertilizer, is that correct? Just the mulch or the
compost.
Compost that you put on, right? Is that correct?
Yes, I make this organic. Yes, of course, I make this organic compost from the rest of the animals and from ashes, from organic parts. This is the organic compost. All the agriculture know how to make it, but I put a mix of Ganses inside of the compost, and is more better. What I see in my little plasma garden, I see good results.
Very nice.
Okay, thank you, and good luck for all the agriculture and all the gardens.
We look forward to more pictures in the next testimonial, perhaps, and we'll see the progress. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or if it grows real fast at the end of this meeting.
There you go. Here's how tall it was before the meeting. Here's how tall it was after the meeting. Yeah. Okay, well, I've got a, is there any other questions about that, or anyone, I see Nikolai has his hand up here.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hi, Nikolai. Yes.
Okay, great. I sent a link to Flint in the chat there. I think it's directly to you with a link to some photos. Is that come through on your end?
One moment. Yes. Yes, it has.
Okay, well, that's great. It's not a very long presentation or testimonial by any means, and that's actually fitting because I need to leave soon. So we can go through it quickly, and I can explain what I've done and go from there.
Yes, one moment here. There you go.
Okay, so is it possible to zoom in on that? I know it's a long, wise photo, but just to show the ring that's going around the middle of that. Yeah, there we go. So I may as well describe that ring. It's a Dr. Rodrigo-inspired ring with ZNO and CO2, one within the other. Gans with Gans liquid plasma as well. And unfortunately, I don't remember which one was the inside and which one was the outside at this moment. But that is the ring. And if we zoom back out, I don't know if it's in this picture or not, or if it may be the next one. Or perhaps I don't have a photo of it, but I took a 1 gallon jug of distilled water and I hung it from the top of one of the tree branches. Now, it's possible that I just didn't send that photo, in which case I will just have to leave it. Okay, it doesn't look like it's in the tree, but it was, if we can imagine, possibly there. If we zoom right in, that little white container, that looks like it.
Yep. What kind of tree was this?
I think it's a plum tree.
Okay, yeah.
And this tree, the reason that I did this was my mother, we're doing a renovation on our house, and my mother said, oh, we're going to get rid of that tree. We're going to dig it out of the ground. It doesn't produce. It only has 3 plums on it every year. You know, what a waste of a tree. Let's get rid of it. And I went, okay, well, before we do that, let me try one last thing. And so within that bottle, I put a little bit of CH3 as well, but that did not go into the rings which were around the tree itself. So maybe we can jump ahead to some of the next pictures. So this was a couple days ago. I had noticed, and I didn't take photos earlier, which I probably should have, but I just did not. I'd noticed these kind of funny looking things growing, which almost look like peppers. And it turns out, I asked my sister what she thought of it, and she pulled one down. And she said, oh, seed pod. So it had created a bunch of seed pods, which were not like the fruit itself, and they grew before the fruit showed up. So we can maybe click through a couple pictures and see if there's some more of those. But yeah, that's the comparison with the actual fruit itself that's shown up. Now, if we look, that's on one little branch, and there are already 3. So I have already, within maybe a 2-month period of spring in the west coast of Canada, produced more plum on this tree than was there in an entire year last year. And keep in mind that this plant was only watered 1 time with plasma water. And then the gallon jug was hung in the tree, and the ring has stayed around it, which we could maybe see in the next picture there, Flint, if we open the one with the ground. Yeah. So what's interesting there is there's this little bush of, I'm not sure what that is, that little plant that's grown on what is the north side of the tree, so fully in shade. And there were several other ones of those that kind of showed up in the garden bed as well, but they were much smaller. That was the largest one by far. Happened to be right inside that ring. And we've got a little shoot that's coming off of the tree itself, just above it to the left there, where the cursor is. That's perfect. And that also grew in about a month, maybe a month and a half. So that was interesting in itself. Perhaps the next slide. Okay, here we got a couple of the shriveled up seed pods next to one that's a little bit less so. This is where I thought we had grown peppers. And I thought, oh gosh, but Ms. Gans has done something very strange to this plant. But it was also the very first tree in probably the entire neighborhood to flower. It has tons of leaves on it. The rest of the garden is nice, but it's doing very well. And there we have a comparison of what one of the seed pods looks like compared to one of the, well, it kind of looks like an olive right now, but I would imagine is a plum. And then we have some pictures of the tree kind of in its fuller form. Quite happy back there. And the ring, at one point I had taped it, kind of attached it to the fence, and my dad didn't like that and he buried it underground. And also one day the plastic jug that was hanging in the back of the tree got taken by somebody, possibly a homeless person who wanted to get the 25 cents or whatever you get for a gallon jug. So even that was no longer required, apparently, as the universe took it away and perhaps fed somebody else with it. So anyway, there's a little testimonial of a tree that was not going to, was not meant to survive and was cast aside. And now, as Carolina said in one of her teachings, I don't think your mother is going to get rid of the tree.
Well, that's the big question. Is your mother going to get rid of the tree now? Or is
well,
it
we'll
going
find
to
out, because
will it become the darling of the family after all this?
That could be it, right? So we'll see if it see what happens this year, and as the plums begin to take bigger shape, I will continue to take photos, and if I'm not around, then I will ask them to, because now technically it's their problem.
Make plum pies for the family. That'll change their opinion fast, probably.
There you go. As Mr. Kesh always says, make jam.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of the photos. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, no problem.
Well, I think that sprig that comes out the bottom, that surprised me the most. That one, yeah. Because that's when you get new growth on the lower part of a tree like that, that's a pretty good indicator that there's new growth below ground as well, like as in new roots that have been shooting off of some of the old original roots that may have been written off in its normal environment. Suddenly this environment has changed and it's willing to send out a new sprig, which means I'm alive and hey, I'm really trying here. I'm not only putting energy to my top leaves, but I'm offering these shoots here at the bottom as well. And it's almost saying, and by the way, you could take clippings of these shoots and start new trees here, you guys, or something like that. So it's you got a live one there for sure.
Very, very exciting for my, more than anything, I wanted to share what I've been learning with my family, and it's been difficult, as I'm sure many of us are aware, to get these ideas through to the other consciousness fields. And sometimes there's a lot of head bumping and a lot of why would that ever work? And then you just go and you show. So I hope this is a good way to show. And I hope that it is my wish that by the end of this season, that they have a different opinion about this tree. And perhaps the Gans and everything else too, but that's for them to decide.
Right on, that's a great wish. And can you tell me what was in the Gans water that you originally used? You said you watered it once with some Gans water. What was in that mixture?
Yeah, that was a combination of CO2, ZNO, as we say it in these American countries, but ZNO for us Canadians, and a little bit of CH3. And when I say a little bit, it was the most minimal amount. The other two were kind of probably 50-50 in percentages.
And it was just the waters of these Ganses?
Yeah, just the liquid plasma water. Yeah, basically I took the rings with me and had filled them up with Gans material, and then topped up the top of each ring as I closed it up, so that the one thing I should mention, those rings, that the Dr. Rodrigo ring, so to speak, is, I don't remember the actual diameter of the tubing, but the outside diameter and the inside diameter are sealed off from one another, so that they have their own continuous flow within the tube. There is no stopping of that flow. So, and that was a nano-coated piece of plastic tubing that I created. Yeah, so there's no metal connectors in there. It's just a larger piece of plastic and a smaller piece of plastic within each of those rings. And that had Gans material of, one of them is CO2, one of them is ZNO or ZNO. And I don't remember which one is which, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have shared that. But they can continuously flow, and they don't flow into one another. So that was just something maybe worth mentioning.
Wow. Thank you, Nikolai.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you'll have lots of purple plums this fall.
Yes. Well, or perhaps we get more than one crop season. Wouldn't that be something?
Or multicolored plums. That would be neat too. Who knows?
Or maybe we get peppers and plums on the same tree.
Was there a lot of blossoms that came out on the tree?
There was a huge amount of blossoms. I really wish I had taken photos of it at that time.
Because each blossom is a plum, or potentially.
Wow. Well, if that's the case, then there is going to be some plum pie. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I will take some more photos as they appear, and we can do this again another time.
Yes, thank you.
Well, that was excellent. We've seen a number of tree experiments with the Gans, or at least the plasma technology applied, and some pretty miraculous things, it seems, with even a single application of the Gans water. So it's amazing. Other people have used similar things with the rings, or the Gans balls put in the trees as well, with good results. Okay, if there's no one that wants to go ahead immediately, I can read a testimonial that came into the Keshe Foundation Testimonials. It's currently at the testimonials.keshefoundation.org. And I believe it will also be
you can bring that on screen here.
Okay, sure, we can do that. Okay, you should be able to see that now. So this is from, like I say, the testimonials.keshefoundation.org. I believe it will also be on the KF Wikipedia with other testimonials that are being put there. And we have this one that came in from Bente Peterson from Denmark. And she says, I am sitting studying Mr. Kesh's book 2, The Structure of Light, chapter 3 and 4 on Gans, what it is and how and why it's produced, etc. And I look at all my books and notes on especially physics I made on my full-time study for 4 years from 2013 through 2016. And honestly, that stuff is so obsolete, she puts in large letters. When I retired, there is something very specific I wanted to know. So I upgraded my physics and math knowledge from 1960, enrolled in the most progressive university in Denmark with molecular biology I thought would be the answer. But oh my God, after 6 months, I realized I wasn't going to get to know what I wanted to know this way. Then I studied at home full-time biology, chemistry, physics. That latter, physics, took me to all sorts of interesting stuff, but left me with more questions. Obviously, until I discovered MT Kesh plasma science and my questions started getting answered about the universes, about life in all its forms, it just makes so much sense. Lucky me. Smile, smile, smile. And thanks a million to Mr. Kesh and to all the people who have helped and are helping to get the science known. It's from Bente Peterson. I thought that was a pretty remarkable testimonial. And Bente's in her 70s. I think she's in her late 70s, actually. And she's really taken a liking to the Kesh technology in the last year or two, especially, and it's really changed her life. And I mean, this is someone that's well educated, and she's been a diplomat in the high circles of government and helping with decontamination of Vietnam and projects like this. And she's totally grateful for this new knowledge that has come her way, that's answered these questions that she has. And she has some pretty detailed questions, I'll tell you. She sends questions every week, and she's the one that has the most questions for the Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And some of them are quite specific, and we've answered many of them, or Mr. Kesh has answered many of them through the workshops. And I think it's just terrific that she's so grateful, and that she is lucky. She's discovered this at in the later part of life, when you think you have seen and done it all by then, or at least that's kind of the feeling a lot of people have. And suddenly something gets discovered that answers those questions that we have, that ordinary science isn't coming through for us. And I've had that same experience. That's the reason I came to the Kesh teachings. It was through one of the first 5 videos of the principles that Mr. Kesh was talking about in the first original videos from 2008, I believe they were. And he's talking about the nature of light and gravity and so on. And he actually explains how the nature of the electron, what the electron's composed of, and the neutron and proton and so on. And for me, it was like, oh, that's perfect. It makes perfect sense to me. I'm finally getting an answer to that question I asked when I was in university at supposedly one of the top universities, at General Motors Institute, that have all these top professors and so on. I asked my professor that was teaching about the nature of the atom and so on, and we were talking about the electron, and he started making these formulas about what the electron was. And I put up my hand. I asked, well, that's fine, but what is the electron? What actually composes the electron? What's it made of? Where does it come from? What is it? And there's just a stunned silence. And the professor said, well, we don't really know about that. But we know what it is because of this description, this mathematical description describes how it behaves. So therefore we know what it is. And I was not satisfied at all with that. So I kind of, I lost faith in my professors and the whole system, basically, because they wouldn't tell me what things were or even what they thought they were, because they didn't know. They didn't have a means to measure, and they probably didn't really care because they had a formula that described how it worked, and that works for all the plug-in formulas that we have that lead to our science of today. So why would we want to change that? Well, it turns out that the changes are very basic, and when you find out the electrons made up of basically rotating magnetic fields, the maggrav fields are what makes up the electron, and there's fields that make up those fields, and so on and so on. There's no particles as such. Everything's made up of magnetic fields. Even the things we see and think are solid, like this desk in front of me, is still made up of tiny wee fields all put together. And once you kind of figure that out, then at least for me, it was a big revelation and a big aha moment, and a lot of things made more sense to me after that. So I was grateful, and grateful enough that I wanted all those original videos to be seen by everybody and understood. So I transcribed them in order for the words to show up so that people could actually see what the words that Mr. Kesh was saying. Some of the things were a little hard to understand and so on, and it made it easier for people to understand, as well as to be able to translate into different languages. And I got involved in that at the time, and that was must be what, 9 years ago now that I was working on that project. So it's led to a lot of changes along the way, and I'm again as grateful as Bente for running into these teachings. Okay, we have Adrian with his hand up there. You want to go ahead, Adrian?
Good morning to all. I'm Adrian from Romania. I'm from Cash Foundation team Romania. I am founder from Cash Foundation Romania. And me and my colleague from Bragadiru Info, I'm constructing a device from Cash technology. This device, it's a scope from this. I am for you. I show you the blueprint from this dispositive. I am testimonial from this dispositive. I am on a little film from this dispositive. This dispositive is shown from many men in workshop in Romania. And I want to show you this. The material is in English, Rick. I need to help from somebody from English, because my English is not very good.
I am present.
Da, deci avem materialul pregătit deja în limba engleză.
I have the material in English, also in Romanian and in English. Is better for you learn for Rick or Flint reading in English, if you want.
Avem și un mic filmuleț cu utilizarea dispozitivului.
A little video with how to use this device.
Acest dispozitiv a fost construit împreună cu o echipă de medici care studiază știința cheie.
This device is constructed with a team with a medical person, part of this team, together.
Între ei sunt câțiva care au aplicat acum ceva timp la Cash Foundation pentru a face parte din echipa medicală, dar nu au primit încă niciun răspuns. Au aplicat acum 2 ani.
It's in between this member group some person which I want wishes to apply from medical group 2 years ago, but it's not received any answer.
Dar ei au fost lângă noi tot timpul și împreună încercăm să facem lucruri frumoase.
But always it's part of team. It's always with us, and together construct building this device and for learning how plasma works in this technology.
Dacă sunteți de acord, aș vrea să încep să vă arăt filmulețul întâi cu utilizarea dispozitivului.
If you allowed, if you agree, I want to show first cum să utilizeze dispozitivul.
Da, cum se utilizează dispozitivul.
How it's utilized this device.
Și după care pun și blueprint-ul și inclusiv testimonialele făcute de medici.
Okay, and after a blueprint and testimonial make from these doctors, which means the result.
Acest dispozitiv a fost conceput plecând de la un dispozitiv arătat de domnul Cash, conceput pentru Sabrina.
Okay, this device is concept from parting from device of Sabrina, is with the coils in 80 degrees.
Pe care noi, plecând cu o anumită înțelegere care a venit din grupul medical,
with some knowledge achieved from the medical group,
l-am extins, plecând de la principiul simetriei organismului.
I part from symmetry of body, human body.
Plecând la interacțiunea simetrică și pe verticală și pe orizontală, mai ales mâini și picioare.
For symmetry in the vertical way, in horizontal way, in with the hands and the legs.
Și așa am luat naștere acest dispozitiv.
In this way, it's burning this device.
Oricum, eu sunt foarte fericit pentru că în echipa de la Bragadiru
I am very happy because in this team of Bragadiru,
la întâlnirea de luna trecută am reușit să facem o întâlnire cu peste 70 de oameni.
In the last month meeting of Bragadiru, I have some 7 and 0. I forget how to say.
17.
17. Not
17, but 17.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Și mai mult de jumătate dintre ei fac parte din echipa medicală potențială care să vină să se înscrie la Cash Foundation.
More of half is part of potential medical team, which means want to make him part of Cash team, Cash medical team.
Deci, dacă îmi permiteți, aș vrea să începem cu filmulețul și după aia...
If you, Rick and Flint and everybody else, if you allowed from starting.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out, is this part of the medical teaching of the Cash Foundation, and are we okay with showing that to the public?
Întreabă Adrian dacă este din lecțiile medicale a fundației, dacă pentru a putea arăta.
Nu face parte din lecțiile medicale a fundației, este un dispozitiv propriu românesc.
No, it's not part, it's achieved from understanding from public teaching of Mr. Kesher.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead with that.
Ca să ne dăm seama, ca să ne dăm seama, Dan, atunci mai bine începem cu partea scrisă și dacă se dorește, arătăm filmulețul.
Adrian saying it's better initial with script part and you were able to judge it's better or no. Rick.
Sorry, I didn't understand that. It's better
it's putting the part of reading in English. You are able to reading this how to say letter presentation, no, or what Adrian putting, and
right.
After.
So he wants to share the screen or something, right?
Yes. Or
okay, so
Adrian, vreți să împărtășești?
I just promoted him, so he can do that now.
Thank you, Flint.
Okay.
Thank you. Just a moment. Yes. This is the blueprint from this device.
This is. Oh, sorry.
Acesta este blueprintul dispozitivului.
This is the blueprint of device.
It's a dual system Sabrina.
It's from Adrian. It's from no. Okay, I understand. It's like Sabrina.
Este un sistem dual. Este un sistem dual făcut plecând la principiul Sabrina arătare domnul Cash, dar care este și la mâini și la picioare.
It's also from hand and legs in same times.
Ce am făcut noi ca și măsură de protecție europeană, am inclus un transformator separator astfel încât omul să nu se mai poată curenta.
It's using the separator transformers for not shortcut the people's safety.
Și plecând la principiul simetriei, conexiunea între bobine a fost făcută un pic diferit.
The connection between the coil is making little difference.
În sensul că în dispozitivul original conexiunea era AB.
In the original blueprint from Mr. Keshe, it's from A to B and A to B.
În dispozitivul nostru, ca să păstrăm principiul oglinzii.
For keeping the system in mirror way, no?
Am folosit conexiunea AB, BA.
It's using AB and BA.
Acestea sunt elementele componente după schemă.
This is the component of element of this blueprint.
Okay. This is from Cache Romania Association Bragadiru. My team, aceasta este echipa mea cu care lucrez și facem multe lucruri frumoase împreună.
This is my team and making a lot of things together.
Ok, I want imediat share-uiesc modul de construcție.
I say right now the way of construction.
Acesta este în engleză deja, Dan.
This is in English. Perhaps Rick or Flint can read it. It's better. I don't read very well in English. I understand, I speak, but I don't read very well.
Dacă Rick sau Flint vrea să-l citească pentru toți.
Rick or Flint, if you...
Okay, so it says Romanian Magravv health device. Maybe you could move the picture up a little bit so you could see the picture better. This device is primarily intended for processing rheumatoid arthritis. That is why it is powered directly from the power grid. It is an adaptation of the Sabrina device after an original idea put into practice at the center of the Cache Romania Association in Bragadiru. The use of this device showed that it is also effective for other health problems. The construction. This device includes 4 sets of Magravv type coils for health stackers. These coils have a special connection. The stackers are made of 2 components fixed in perpendicular planes. See picture on the technical drawing. 2 Magravv coils, or stackers, are connected in a circuit for hands, and 2 Magravv coils, or stackers, are connected in a circuit for soles. And by that he means the soles of feet, not the soul of the man. These 2 circuits are electrically connected to each other. Each circuit, 2 Magravv health coils, 0.5 LED indicator, 10-watt maximum light bulb, and 1 switch is firmly fixed to a large wooden box. And the 2 boxes are fixed on 2 wooden legs so that the hands and the feet are comfortably placed on the device. We have a picture of the upper case for the hands and a lower case for the legs. And there we see the boxes assembled on the wooden legs. The Magravv health coils were nano-coated with the hot caustic method. The nano-coating period was longer than 2 months. A mixture of equal parts of Gans of CO2 and Gans of zinc oxide, ZNO, is then prepared. CO2 Gans is made in a Gans reactor with a nano-coated copper coil and a zinc coil. The distance between the 2 coils is 12 centimeters and are connected through a red LED. The salinity is 5%. The solution contains only distilled water and recrystallized pure salt. The zinc oxide Gans is made in an identical Gans reactor, only this time the connection between the free ends of the coils in the Gans reactor is made directly by twisting without the LED. These two Ganses were poured into a jar and mixed with Gans water in a proportion of 30% Gans and 70% CO2 and zinc oxide Gans water. All the maggrav coils were impregnated by dipping into this mixture of Gans and water and then dried before assembly. Each set of maggrav coils in the stacker are assembled with an inner coil ring in a horizontal position. For both hands and feet, the entry, shown in point B from a maggrav coil or stacker, is spatially oriented toward the entrance to the other maggrav coil in which it is directly connected. All connections inside the maggrav coils, the connections between the two maggrav coils for hands and the connections between the maggrav coils for legs, are made by joining the straight ends of the coils and connecting them with the 3.2 millimeter heat shrink tubes. This connection method protects the nanolayers on the coil's ends. The 4 maggrav coils are assembled on specially made wooden supports. This gives them stiffness and allows them to fit easily into the boxes. Maggrav health coil stacker on a wooden stand is the picture we see. The maggrav coils are carefully assembled in order not to damage the nanolayers on the coils. The electrical input into the device is provided by an electric transformer with a special construction called galvanic isolation transformer, which completely eliminates a user's electric shock if he touches accidentally the coils. It must withstand a minimum power of 25 volt amps. This constructive detail allows the device to be certified according to European standards. Use. For proper operation of the device, it is necessary to follow rigorously the directions from the technical scheme regarding the connection to the phase and null or neutral from the electrical network. For this, it is necessary to first identify the phase and the null with a voltage tester pen. The user sits comfortably on a chair in front of the device and relaxes. The user puts on some thin gloves. The palms are placed on the 2 coils at the top of the device. The thumb of each hand is inserted into the empty area from the center of the coils. The feet are also on the 2 coils from the bottom of the device. These coils are also insulated with a thin plastic foil. The device is used in sessions of 20 minutes maximum, initially without any LED bulb. The LED bulb is added later. It gradually changes with bulbs with more watts without exceeding 10 watts, taking into account the user's status and his reactions to prevent any discomfort. It shows a reference URL for various things.
Ok, acesta este descrierea dispozitivului și aveți și ceva poze cum a fost făcut.
This is described of the device and a little some picture how it's made.
Și acum aș vrea să pun tot în limba engleză un testimonial făcut de unul dintre doctori.
And now I want to show a little testimonial making from one of these doctors in English.
Tot așa, dacă nu știu cine a citit, Rick sau Fink.
Rick, it's Rick website reading. Yes, if you're kind. Thank you.
Okay. This is called Testimonies on the Effects of the Romanian Maggrav Health Device. Note, these
scientific device.
Pardon me?
I like to saying processes device for not entering conflict with another. You know, when you say health, it's one thing. When you say processize,
Processing. So what are you saying, Dan? That it should be different on the first line, you mean?
no, it's for make the difference. When Mr. Kish is saying, "Oh, it's not when you're thinking," you know, the little discussion in another time. When you say device, what it means, and for not passing through again, I say is my proper words in my mouth. I say processing. It's
The
not
process, then maybe the effects of the Romanian Maghreb health process. Is that what you mean? Or processing?
I mushroom. I mushroom. This.
okay.
Romanian Maghreb health device.
Okay, it's properly
working from kids.
okay. No, it's a Adrian saying it's like it's what it is.
Okay, I'm just going to read it the way it is then. Okay, it's called Testimonies on the Effects of the Romanian Maghreb Health Device. It says, note, these testimonies were recorded by the doctor under whose supervision the device was used. Only patient initials are used for their protection. Let's get you to mute if you're not speaking there, because there's noise in the background. Unless you do you want to
from Adrian saying no, who want to
if I'm going to read this, then I need to have it muted in the background because it's hard to read if there's noises coming through. That's all. It's good right now. Okay, so one is patient NC. I can't read it. There's something on the.
Adrian,
move this a window away from the shared application or something there. Okay, you've got a Windows.
Move the Zoom window off the Word document.
Okay, that's better. Thank you. Okay, let me go back again. Patient NC, a female, 23 years old, Bucharest. NC was presented in 2018 with rheumatoid arthritis. The disease triggered in 2016 after a knee injury. Blood test results at the beginning of the treatment. C reactive protein greater than 20. It was high. The normal values are below 4. Fibrinogen is high values over normal. These results indicate the presence of inflammation. The diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis was established with 5 criteria out of 8. The right knee was inflamed and locked at an angle of 160 degrees. The patient could not straighten his right leg and walked limping. The left knee was inflamed and deformed, but she could stretch it. The doctors told the patient that it was necessary to take metronidazole for life, but the disease will advance anyway. The patient initially started a phytotherapeutic treatment and acupuncture, with only slightly improved the situation. The inflammation markers were improved. The level of reactive protein C decreased to 15. She stopped allopathic medication. At this time, July in 2018, she started her therapy with Romanian Maghreb health device. She had 2 sessions a week. A session consists of 3 rounds of 20 minutes with a break of 5 to 10 minutes between rounds. In the first phase, a LED lamp was mounted only at the top of the device, the area for the hands. It used a light bulb with 3 watts, then 5 watts, and then 8 watts. The patient experienced tingling sensations, fine currents in the area of the hands, and emotional silence. Her condition has gradually improved. The inflammation has decreased. The level of reactive C protein decreased to 9. At this stage, November 2019, an LED bulb was also mounted at the bottom of the device. The sessions continued with a 10-watt LED bulb mounted at the bottom and a 9-watt LED bulb mounted at the top of the device. Her condition has improved. The patient began to feel in her sick legs some tingling, climbing from the soles to the knees. After the treatment, she felt like someone was pulling her foot to straighten it. After a while, her leg was straightened for the first time in 2 years. Sometimes her leg returned to the previous condition, then it was straightening again. The situation has evolved and is getting better. Currently, the patient can maintain her legs straight permanently. Deformation of the knees are in constant regression. The knees are no longer warm, their temperature has fallen, and this is a sign of diminishing inflammation. Reactive protein C fell below 10, showing no inflammation. In March of 2019, the patient went on a trip and a walk 12 kilometers every day. She had a mild pain, but her condition improved visibly, as if this effort had helped her even more. Comments on the psycho-emotional state. Several years ago, the patient's father had lung cancer. The father had surgery and recovered, but she was greatly affected by the fact that she felt unable to resolve this situation. Psychologically, rheumatoid arthritis shows an inner conflict related to a state of personal devaluation. Example number 2, IR, a female, 43 years old, Bucharest. She's an emergency physician and works a lot in the shifts. She started to take painkillers because she had severe migraines. She used the Romanian Maggrav health device 1 hour daily for 1 week. After that, the headache had ceased. Number 3, DN, female, 63 years old, Bucharest. She suffered from back pain in the lumbar and thoracic spine for a long time. She used the Romanian Maggrav health device for 4 consecutive days. After that, the backaches disappeared. Number 4, VA, male, 41 years old, in Bucharest. He's a physician and a therapist. After a whole day at the office, a severe migraine triggered with intense and persistent pain. He used the Romanian Maggrav health device. Initially, he had the feeling that the health problem is getting worse. He used the device 3 times, 3 to 4 minutes each time. In the 3rd session, he suddenly felt a relief and tranquility. He went to bed and fell asleep in 3 minutes. After 3 hours, he woke up in very good condition without any headaches.
Acestea au fost pe scurt mărturiile culese numai de la unul dintre doctori care îmi doream să facă parte din echipa domnului Cash.
Let me translate. This is, in short, testimonial of from one doctors, and I wish this doctor is making part of medical team of Mr. Cash.
Acesta a aplicat acum 2 ani de zile și nu a fost...
This doctor, it's apply 2 years ago. It's not receive any answer, but continuous is making in this way of plasma. Take apply of plasma technology.
Ok, dacă se dorește, poți să pui și un filmuleț, efectiv cum se lucrează cu aparatul.
If you want, I can put a little video for showing how it's work this apparatus, this device.
Yeah, sure, that'd be fine.
Ar fi bine, Adrian.
I could also remind Adrian that doctors can apply to be part of the private doctors program, private teaching that happens every week in the Kesh Foundation as well.
This doctor 2 years ago, it's want it for apply, but no, it's not have the answer. It's and 1 week ago, I think, this doctor and the others want to apply or already. I don't know. I asked to Adrian.
Did you kind of asked to apply at doctors@keshfoundation.org email address?
Yes, apply this doctor after 2 years older.
Send another one to health@spaceshipinstitute.org then.
Să trimită din nou către fundație pe site-ul medicilor pentru privat.
Da. Când domnul Cheș a fost la conferința la București, a fost în vizită la acest doctor.
When Mr. Kesher is coming in Bucharest from, I don't know, 2 years ago, in Bucharest, when I making the one knowledge seeker, how to say, meeting in Bucharest, it's a visit this doctor, specifically these doctors.
His name is Vânător. Okay, I show you the file. Just a moment, please. Where is my file? Just a moment. Because my file is not here. It's here. Okay.
Don't forget sharing the sound. Nu uita să pui și sunetul.
Yes, I sure.
Adrian, e prea puternic sunetul, de un pic mai încet. Sunetul un pic mai încet din video.
Thank you. If you play that music, then we'll end up with copyrighted music, correct? Where did the music come from?
De unde vine muzica? Întreabă Adrian. Adrian.
Hello?
Adrian, ne auzi?
Yes, but my microphone is closed.
Întreba de unde provine muzica, adică să nu fie copyright.
Nu, muzica provine de la echipa noastră de TV.
It's from our team creation.
It's your own. Someone's put together themselves. It's not from someone else.
No, it's putting from a team of Bragadiru and from guys of TV when making the registration. It's proper creation. It's not from somebody else.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you mean. It's recorded live from something or from
Is there any talking in the movie? Is there anybody narrating or talking?
Vorbește cineva în video, Adrian? Adrian, iar ai microfonul închis. Vorbește cineva sau e numai muzică? Adrian.
Nu vorbește nimeni acolo, este numai muzică și arătăm ce se deve arăta.
It's only music and showing this. It's like a slide after slide.
Yeah, that's fine, but I would probably suggest just mute it and then have him describe or have him talk while it's showing so we can understand more about what they're videoing, what's in the video.
Yeah, I still don't
Mute
understand.
the music.
Is the music recorded or is it from something that's already published?
No, it's not already published. It's making from a team of TV or recording team with when we have this meeting, noise recording also in Zoom and from the other angle of with the camera, no? And it's created from our colleagues. It's
they're playing live music at the a band or whatever is playing, or someone's playing live music. And
no. It's making a computer or in home studio, like I say.
Yes, it's proper creation, his music.
It's from guys with making Gans with our team.
Yeah, the Romanian team made the music.
Right, so they're not publishing it, or it's not being, there's no copyright or no rights on it.
No, it's not copyright for this. It's proper creation. Music. My team is very, very good and this.
Right. Well, normally what we require when we play music is you're supposed to sign the form that says you release all rights to the music and so on, because if there's some conflict later and someone wants to claim the rights, then that means we lose the rights to the video, to the entire video that we're playing today, the entire testimonial, and someone else could put ads on it and everything else. Then that's why we're careful with that.
Rick, s-a văzut filmul sau s-a auzit numai muzica?
S-a văzut și filmul, s-a auzit și muzica. Zice Rick că dacă este, deci pentru a nu crea probleme, în sensul că datorită cuiva care vrea să aibă dreptul la acea creație, ei se poate pierde și înregistrarea video datorită acestui fapt. Adică era nevoie de semnarea unei hârtii precum că.
Nu, am știut că dacă știam nu puneam muzica.
It's not Adrian, dai muzica încet și atunci vede numai imagine dacă e cazul.
Ok.
I say it's better without sound in this way, better for
and
everybody.
then he can describe what's going on that way, so that would be best for sure. Let's just do it that way.
Dă drumul în felul ăsta, Adrian.
Cum?
Dă drumul în felul ăsta, adică fără sune și descrii tu acolo ce face. Sau...
Deci acesta este testimonialul pe care noi am vrut să-l arătăm cu un dispozitiv să zicem, modificat de echipa românească.
This is what I want to show you from this device, modified from Romanian team.
Și care am observat din cele 6 dispozitive făcute până acum.
And I observe in this 6 device making
construite împreună cu echipa de medici și de terapeuți.
Building together with team, medical team and the other guys from team of Bragadiru.
Care dau rezultatele pe care domnul Cash mi le spune.
It have the result like Mr. Cash is saying. It's achieved.
Este adevărat.
It's true.
Să poți construi aceste dispozitive, trebuie să înțelegi interacțiunile care au loc în ele.
To building this device is needed to understanding the interact of field and to the others for constructing.
Iar eu și cu echipa mea ne mândrim că am înțeles acest lucru și ne mândrim că avem din ce în ce mai mulți medici lângă noi. Medici care gândesc.
and I and my team I proud to making close to us the other medical and the other therapeutes which wanting to learning more and more from plasma technology.
Acesta a fost testimonialul meu pentru voi, venit din suflet și din inimă. Mulțumesc.
This is Adrian, numai puțin. Pune video, o să pui video, dar fără sunet. Nu ăsta. This is my testimonial offer from my heart and my soul for testimonials. And I say from Adrian, putting the video without sound, but putting this video where you seeing the people, the colleagues, how it's working with this device. Pune video, dar fără sunet, că e prea tare sunetul și fără sunet.
Ok. Just a moment, please.
I want to thank you, Mr. Cash, because of Mr. Cash, I initial learning English and the other language. And Rick and Flint, because every day, every week, I practice.
Well, that's a good testimonial in itself. Get to learn English by joining the Kesh Foundation.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, you have to understand Mr. Cash.
I understand Mr. Cash with my soul, not at English level.
Well, you get to learn the soul language too then, right?
Adrian, if you want to describe, dacă vrei să descrii ceva, e suficient să zici.
Deci aici este o filmare făcută la întâlnirea la care au fost cei peste 70 de oameni.
Okay, this is from 1 month ago from a team from Bragadiru in country when I have also presents.
Și foarte mulți oameni prezenți acolo, foarte mulți. Doamna aceasta este un terapeut foarte vestit din Râmnicu Vâlcea.
This lady is very, how to say, with terapeut, very good terapeut from de unde? Bistrița? Râmnicu Vâlcea, one city of east of Romania.
Yes. Și ea testează puterile aparatului.
And testing the power of field of this device.
Se și vede că se concentrează pe ceea ce face aparatul.
It's meditate, is concentrate from what the apparatus making. And my proper opinion, you see the glows for not touching the nanocode and with the head.
Da, este, aici cineva făcea o testare cu acest aparat al câmpului care se produce la nivelul picioarelor.
Here it's testing from for legs. With a beep meter, with this device, no, when you
Yes.
beep, how long is the field? In the back also you see the Gans production.
Aici este un alt terapeut care vine din zona de nord a României.
The other therapeutes coming from north side of country.
Care comenta cu cei vreo 10 colegi ai lui cu care a venit.
Making the comment with other 10 colleagues with coming at Bucharest.
Ok, aceasta este.
This is it. Thank you, Adrian.
Eu vă mulțumesc și mulțumesc și lui Rick și lui Phil că au avut răbdare să ne asculte și să citească testimoniile.
I thank you, Rick and Flint, because you have the patience from reading these testimonials.
Well, thank you very much, Adrian. It's a very nice unit, very nicely built unit, and it seems like people are enjoying its use.
Oamenii se bucură să-l folosească.
Da, oamenii se bucură. A fost un caz la întâlnire.
It's one case from to this meeting.
Doi oameni în vârstă, deci în vârstă.
Two old men,
care au venit să ia contact cu știința plasmatică.
And is coming for taking contact with plasma science.
Au discutat cu doctorul care se ocupă de dispozitiv.
Is talking with doctor which making and prove this device.
Doamna s-a așezat la aparat, doctorul i-a spus să stea la el 7 minute.
The doctor saying stay 7 minutes with device.
Pentru mine este un mister cum am înțeles cât timp trebuie să stai la acest dispozitiv.
Adrian saying for me it's a mystery because how know what time it's needed for staying from this device. For us, for experience, when he's probing this device, the doctor is using. And
după 7 minute cât a stat doamna acolo, soțul care era lângă,
after 7 minutes, when the lady is sitting there, the husbands
o întreabă, îi spune, ți-ai făcut curiozitatea, ce simți?
After asking the wife, you are feeding your curiosity, how it feel, how you are feeling.
Și doamna se uită în ochii lui și îi spune, nu mă mai doare spatele care mă durea de 2 ani.
And looking in your eyes, saying, it's not it's not pain. I don't have the pain which killed me from 2 years continuously.
Și am asistat la foarte multe lucruri de genul acesta.
And I assisted. I have testimonial. I like when you are. No, it's when you are testimonial from many things of like this, like that.
Ok, încă o dată vă mulțumesc și vă doresc o seară plăcută și să mai ascultăm și pe colegi de noștri.
Okay, thank you again and for this night, and I leave for listen to other colleagues in this night.
Thank you.
We have a question for you from David in the Q&A. Do you have the schematics or technical drawings for the way the electricity is being applied to these coils that you showed a few minutes ago, so I can try to rebuild and use it for the health coils I build myself?
Adrian a întrebat dacă îi poți arăta deci cum este construit din legături electrice ca să-și reconstruiască însul ca să-l folosească.
Da. Este un moment, imediat pun din nou blueprint-ul.
I putting again the blueprint, how it's making the connection, electrical.
Just a moment, because I don't know.
It's through from the grid, from the line, it's passing through the transformers, not step up, not step down. It's from isolation, it's a one-to-one. And it's passing through the first coil to second coil, and you have the lamp, the bulb, the LED for seeing what it's working, what it's not. And you have the switch. Okay.
Acesta este schema electrică echivalentă a dispozitivului.
This is the equivalent draw of electrical. This is the
of his device. This is two-stacker medical. Sunt două bobine în formațiune medicală la 90 de grade.
It's from two coils, two stackers in 90 degrees, no, from left hand and right side, right hand, and upper, and down is for the legs.
Ceea ce am făcut noi, am făcut să conectăm în simetrie aceste două bobine.
It's connected in symmetry. It's like in the mirror.
Nu sunt legate ca în blueprint-ul original în serie.
It's not like in original blueprint in series.
În blueprint-ul original erau, just a moment, erau AB, AB.
You're understanding, no?
And why did he switch them around? Why are they reversed?
De ce schimbat ăsta? De ce a schimbat? De ce nu l-a lăsat în serie?
Pentru că legăturile în corp sunt în oglindă.
Because in the body it's like a lung, like eyes, like everything is in the mirror. It's left side and right side.
Și atunci, plecând la principiul simetriei, au luat nașterea aceste conexiuni.
For this knowledge, like a symmetry, it's part this making this device in this way.
Există în terapia chineză.
Exists in therapy, China therapy. Pressure, acupuncture, and the other form of.
No, nu, Dane. În medicina chineză, în reflexoterapie, există, de exemplu, pentru picioare, un punctuleț pentru fiecare organ.
From the China therapy, it's for reflexotherapy. It's you have the point. Reflexogen to the legs in specific point.
Și la fel și în palme.
Also in the hand.
Și atunci rolul medicului, care se pricepe foarte bine la medicina chineză,
The purpose of medic, which it's better in this medicine therapy or Chinese,
s-a rezumat la a identifica punctele în care să aplice energia acestui dispozitiv pe mâini și pe picioare.
it's making is not properly what I say, what's saying Adrian, but I say it's making the connection to the hand with the proper point of the leg, and or to the hand and hand.
Și în momentul ăla, procesarea făcută pe ștrinca cache
In this moment, processing from the cache knowledge,
a fost îmbinată cu știința veche chineză.
it's bringing together with the knowledge of ancient Chinese technique.
Acesta este tot secretul acestui dispozitiv. Nu este nimic secret.
It's nothing secret.
Cine are cunoștințe mai vaste, noi nu avem. Eu și cu echipa mea, noi ne vedem creatori de asemenea dispozitive, dar fără medici nu am putea să le facem.
We are the creator of this device, but without the medical part, colleague of medical, is not possible.
Ok. Cred că am vorbit destul, ajunge pentru această seară minunată.
I thinking I saying much, and I think it's better for tonight.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Flint. Thank you, Dan.
Okay, I'm just looking at the Q&A here. Is there anybody else that has something they'd like to bring forward at this point in time?
Good day, good evening, good night, good morning. Here's Andreas from Austria. And I was spontaneously invited to share a few experiences. And if it's not too late, I'm going to do it.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you, Andreas.
I'm student the second year now. It's the third year since I got in contact with the plasma technology. And I had an extreme life with suicide tries or taking drugs and destroying very much in my own life or my own. And I made a lot of, or I was interested in a lot of different topics like building magraphs or all things which we know from the plasma technology. I haven't done all things, but tried a few. And the most topics where I came into is the health section or the agriculture section a little bit. But the most important thing for me is are the emotions and the soul, which are a permanent companion, not depending what I use out of the plasma technology. And through my suicide tries, I had a lot of physical injuries. of course, psychological injuries too. And from the first day on, I had a lot of pain. I haven't known how I should handle my life or what I should work. And since the first day at the workshop, when I got a CO2 CNO patch, only one, the pain decreased more and more at my back, knee, or ankle. And from this time, it was for me clear that what I've seen in the internet and heard about the plasma technology, that is real. And somehow it was not only the technology, but the ethos behind it, the welfare for each other, for the whole planet. And then I got a student and tried this and that, made, of course, Ganses. And there are two experiences which are a little time ago, but which influenced me very much in having trust and seeing how the emotions, which power the emotions have. And I made a plasma bath with 30 milliliters of CO2 Gans water, and then I think 20 milliliters each with CH3, CuO, and Zetano. And I used alkaline salt bath with it from the pharmacy, where I have to say salt is very important at plasma bath because it's a connector to the salts in our body. And when I did that, I was, through my own researches, very into the topic emotions, family constellations, how the past has an impact of our whole life. And I made a plasma bath 1 hour long and go into the bed. And I had at this time a feeling in me, because I lived at the mother of my son's place, where many bad things had happened. And there was a feeling in me, what she gave me or what I had. And I knew at this time I know this feeling from somewhere. And so with the plasma bath, there was a huge balancing of my emotions, and I traveled in my thoughts back and in my feelings too, to search for these emotions. And I go to my childhood. I had my pictures in my head from my schoolmates or from my parents, or when my mother was ill the whole time. And this was so intense for me that my body started to shake from the head to the feet, or that my shoulder was popping up. And what I did was that I every time hugged the little Andreas, the little child, and gave him love in these situations. But not only myself, schoolmates who had bad experiences in their childhood, or my parents too, who grew up after the war and had different experiences. And because we know we save all emotions and we gave it from generation to generation sometimes. And when we do that, giving our thoughts and feelings in the past, love and understanding and forgiving, then we can solve or balance a lot of our emotions in the present. And it's helped me somehow. It was at this time, it was very hard because it was very intense, and I was crying and really crying, pressing my eyes together because I felt that so much. And yes, that helped me very much. And it showed me the power of emotions, just to tell the experience out of that. And then my son got the MCV virus, which is VADS, I think it's called. And that is something which my father had, my brothers, my brother had, for example, on the hands everywhere, I don't know, 100 warts, and he was ashamed in school because it just don't looks nice. I don't have much, but my son had, it started a little over the hip and at his genitals and at his mouth. It started at his mouth, and like Mr. Cash explained, when he spoke about viruses, the line between mouth and genitals, or the I don't know the name now. Yeah, but the warts increased and increased, and they had been little. And then we started with plasma baths 1 to 2 times a week. I think with the same mixture of plasma water. Yes, with the same mixture. I had every time the Ganses, I don't know, I think I put 30 milliliters Gans of CO2 and 20 milliliters of the other main Ganses in a 5-liter bottle and gave distilled water to it. And then I just emptied it in the bath. And at this time, nothing happened. And then we drove on holidays for 10 days to my parents. And within 2 to 3 days, the watts increased 3 to 4 times. So he had 100, 200 watts at the most parts of his body. And I was very desperate a few days long because it haven't looked fine, and there are other problems too. And I thought, wow, that again, and or another problem to it. And we made then plasma baths with CO2 and ZNO 50-50, but not much happened. I mean, before nothing happened too. And suddenly, when he had been back home again, after 1 week, you saw only points anymore on the skin. And after 2 weeks, there had been nothing anymore. And what was the fascinating thing for me is that it seems that my father has a field strength which triggered that instantly, that the watts were 3 times, 4 times bigger, and the amount was 3 times, 4 times more. Really crazy. Within 2 to 3 days, that all exploded only with the contact with him. And suddenly he was away from him. All was soon away. And that showed me that we are totally connected to each other. That was just fascinating. And of course, we are happy that they are just away, because in the hospital by us, they have nothing for it, for viruses, as we know. And they wanted to laser it away so that there are scars. And when the warts came on another place, then they have to laser it again. And they just treat the symptoms. And so with the plasma bath, it was possible to balance that out. Until today, nothing appeared anymore. And this connection through the emotions and generations is more than fascinating for me. And then I have a other testimonial with my father, which has very weak heart, about 30%, when I'm right. The kidneys are bad too, or very bad. And he has had water in his upper body, and he had epileptic attacks where he started to shake and he broke together uncontrolled and was bleeding at the head, or he just broke together a lot of times, and we had fear that he don't fall wrong. And and his blood pressure was very low. And then I have got a field unit, and at first I just used the field unit, and I can't remember exactly how it was from the timing, but then I used CO2 Saturn O 50/50 Gans water for him to drink in the morning, 30 milliliters at the lunch and in the evening. And his blood pressure goes over 100 or 110 and stabilized somehow there. He lost his epileptic attacks. So really there was only sometimes a little bit shaking of his hands, but the fear from us all goes away that he just falls spontaneous down. That was very important for us all, because we had fear. And every time when he was sitting in the field unit, or especially when I made patches for the kidneys or for the heart later then, he felt instantly very much better in the field unit. He had, through the water in his upper body, not in the lung, but in his upper body, heart breathing problems. And of course, he was poisoned too, because the body was not able to transport it out. But the breathing problems were really bad, and he was hectical breathing, like hyperventilating. And when he got the patches, then he instantly comes down, goes to a normal breathing, and he said he feels just soft in there. What was in the hospital interesting is that the doctors were surprised that the kidneys were from very, very bad suddenly bad in the bad area. So they got more well, but only through a few days with the patches, because I was very late with everything, and he had to go in the hospital because he got too much breathing problems through the water in his upper body. And I know that through this technology, he would be able to balance everything out. But 1 week ago, I made the decision not to help him anymore, because he hadn't made this for himself, only for me, and he was happy that I help him out of my heart with my intention. And then he was in the hospital again, and then I decided not to do it anymore. And what I realized more and more, and what I checked at the end, is that when he had breathing problems, or he had been in very bad conditions, when I had my hands on his back and I spoke with him and said, "Hey, head up," because my mother was very traumatized and was very negative, and that was a direct influence on him. And I realized how only the intention helps him to stabilize again. Or when I drive in the hospital and I hug him, or his eyes are shining when I came into the room, and when I hug him, I feel how the energy flows and how happy he is. And I realized he don't needs the field unit or the plasma technology, and we just enjoy the time in the hospital. We don't have to speak. I just sit beside him, and we both feel just happy. And somehow it's like that when I was a child, he loved me and I loved him. And then we had 25 years of war, or not understanding each other. And now somehow the circle closes again when he feels somehow his end is coming. And somehow it's like these days when I was young, that we just love each other, and I don't have to force myself or to force him. I mean, I haven't forced him, but he don't needs the plasma technology, he just needs me. And again, back to the emotions. The emotions are the powerfulest thing we carry in us. And of course, the plasma technology is very powerful too. But there are days we don't need the technology. Yes, and other little things are, I don't wash my hair since 1 year. I just use sometimes CO2 ZNO plasma water. I drink regularly ZNO plasma water. I don't have pain. Still, I have not solved every situation in my life, but the life with the plasma technology, which is my biggest interest, or not the only one, but my main interest, my whole day somehow. changed my life to much better, and all friends here, the family, where we can make mistakes, where we can forgive each other, where we help each other. Just only that, or exactly that, is that what I wish for the whole humanity, and to balance all this pain what we had in the last 1,000 years or the last 100 years, or that we balance that out and that we find the way to peace. That's my biggest wish. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Andreas. And thank you so much for all of your wonderful work that you're doing for the foundation, and especially in KF Wiki.
Thank you very much to all of you too.
When you said you were taking the bath, you said 50-50 on the zinc and the CO2, and you were in there for an hour. How long after that, once you got out and everything, was it hours, days, weeks? How long did it take for you to actually feel these results or know the results or see any change? And how many times did you take baths? Was it 10, 15, or 1 or 2 or what?
Well, the first plasma bath was the most intense one for me. And at first I used all main Ganses, nearly the same of each. Gans waters. I just give the Ganses like 30 or 20 milliliters of each in a 5-liter bottle, and then distilled water to it. Let it stand for 1 or 2 days, and then I just fill it into the bath with, I think what's very important is the salt in it, a lot of salt, like maybe half a kilo salt, because it's a strong connector to our body, because we have salt in our body too, like around 0.9%. And that makes it very strong. And I make the plasma bath every week, 1 bath. And I don't know, you can do it 2 or 3 times a week too. I heard from others, I don't know which mixture they use, that they feel very energy loaded. Maybe they use a little bit more CH3. So with different mixtures, I have no experiences. And CO2 ZNO mixture 50-50 I use per chance, because I had no other Gans anymore at home. To connect really to the emotions, I would use 80% ZNO and 20% CO2. But in every case and with every mixture, I think we can not do something wrong, and we can collect different experiences.
This idea of not doing something wrong is also brought out by Mark in a comment a little while ago in the chat. He says, thank you for sharing, especially the bathing in some fields. Dan seemed to think the fields are intelligent as they go where they are needed within the body and not where they are not needed. Amazing science and technology in so many areas being introduced to mankind. So that seems to be the thing. And I know for myself, I have issues with my skin from time to time, especially if I get a bit of used motor oil or some sort of grease on my skin, then I can break out in itchy bumps that are very annoying and very itchy. And if you scratch them, then they start bleeding, and it's really a serious situation. And that occurred to me actually about a month ago. My whole upper arm and lower part of my arm, my forearm and hands broke out in these very itchy bumps. I knew that if I scratched them, boy, I'm in trouble. So the idea is you have to do something to stop any irritation, even though it starts as an internal and external sort of process. Somehow, you know, it's the skin is like an organ, one organ, and it talks. All the skin cells talk to each other, and then when they get inflamed, it can spread, similar to the virus with the warts or VATS. By the way, when Andreas was saying VATS, he means warts in what some people would call warts. And I was wondering what it was for a few minutes there till I figured out he meant, oh, warts, yes. But they can spread, and under certain conditions, emotional conditions or environmental conditions. And anyway, I found that a spray, I have a little spray bottle of the CO2 and some zinc oxide. And in fact, the more zinc oxide, the better, I think. But mine happens to be a combination of both that I've had for a while. And I use that little spray bottle and spray that right directly on my arms. That's the CO2 zinc oxide Gans water. And spray that on my skin. And it is so soothing that it is amazing. It instantly cools down the skin. Well, you can imagine spraying water in your skin would cool it too. But this is a different type of cooling. It's I'd consider it the opposite of inflammation. And inflammation is where there's, well, typically swelling, but it would be a heat thing. It would be a hotter area. That's how they were talking about the knees being inflamed, or joints inflamed. And when they're inflamed, they get hotter. Or if the skin's inflamed, it gets red and it gets hotter. And that CO2 Gans spray is just, to me, it's like a miracle, because I've had this condition for many years. And when there's a flare up, I've tried every kind of skin cream and all these fancy health store products and different oils and different concoctions, and virtually everything just makes it worse, and it makes it so it actually can inflame it and makes it more painful instantly and more painful in the long run. So I learned to stay away from all those things. There was a magic cream from the skin doctor for this kind of condition, but the problem with the magic cream is you put it on, and yes, it takes the pain away, and then it produces other strange side effects, such as drying the skin. You get cracking, and you're in more pain than you were initially, because you not only have these eruptions, you also have cracked skin happening. And then you're ready to be taken into the hospital, probably for a mental or physical condition, because it gets so painful. So the idea with this spray, this CO2 spray, is it instantly cools and reconditions the skin. It helps to sort of dry up the condition, but also I call it spray on skin, because it works so fast and it's so effective to start the new layers of skin. It's like the seed precursor that's needed to kind of sterilize, cool down, and it goes in, and to me it says to all the skin cells, okay, you guys, it's all cool now, literally. Let's get back to work and get the repairs going here. Here's a grid work for your scaffolding for you to work from, and it'll give you all the nutrients and all the energy, not nutrients, but the energy bases that you need for reconstruction. And sure enough, it works great. And usually within 2 or 3 sprays of the spray, because if I feel in a short time that I'm feeling a bit itchy again or whatever, I spray that on again. And the idea is to spray it on and let it dry naturally in the air. Spray it on till it's almost like wet or damp, and then just let it air dry. And that provides that protective skin when our skin is not protecting us the way we like. So highly recommended if you want to experiment with that. And it's something that, again, I think it can, as far as I know, and as far as I've been reading the various testimonials and so on that have come in, and hearing about people's experience with at least this particular kind of Gans. If you're going to be using other kinds and other types of ways of creating Ganses, you're on your own in that. But with the standard procedure for creating the CO2 and zinc oxide Gans that's used in the Kesh technology, plasma teachings, and so on, then a spray of that Gans water is highly recommended as an experiment on yourself, at least to start with, and see if you indeed experience both immediate relief, which is a grand thing in itself, but also the secondary relief of actually getting to the root of the problem in order to resolve it. So anyway, I also use the Gans water in baths, and I also do the saltwater bath as was just being described. I sometimes use just salt, and that can be up to 1 kilogram of salt. I put more in if I can afford it, but I try to split the package in 2. It's usually 1 kilogram. Or 2 kilograms rather. So it's, but also I use Epsom salts. So that's magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts, and then the sea salts, which is primarily sodium chloride, but also has other salts in it. And you can use different kinds of sea salts depending on what sea you would like to be bathing in any particular time, which is kind of interesting. There's, for example, Mediterranean sea salts are available where I am. There's also Pacific sea salts from the west coast of Canada. And of course, there's the Red Sea type, the red salt that you can get as well, and various other kinds, various other seas of the world. And I'm sure there's probably a dozen main kind of salts that you could experience as that conductor framework in a bath situation. And it acts as a conductor, and I think it helps with the work of the Gans water in that situation. Epsom salts are known to relax muscles and help with the pulling out or drawing out of toxins as well. I've had amazing results with just Epsom salts on their own as a poultice or a way of pulling out an infection if you have a splinter in your thumb and it's getting infected, that's a great way to pull it out and pull out the infection, is to soak it in as hot as you can stand water that's Epsom salt, lots of Epsom salt in it.
What I can add as experiences from others, what I heard, for example, when we make a plasma bath or when we are in units, then it can be good to drink something, because then the fields from the outside interact with the fields from the inside. And when we drink just against water, it's like normal water, we have to go to the toilet soon, because the water just rinses through our body. And if we mix it with some fat or oil, the oil leaves traces in the, I don't know the vocabulary for it, in us, and it stays a little bit longer. And the same is for the skin. When we use oil and we rub it over the Gans water which we have sprayed, then it stays a little bit longer, or much longer. And what I want to say too is that, for example, with the plasma bath, I heard from a lot of people that they don't fill in Gans water. They use Gans in bottles and let them swim on the surface, because plasma technology is about fields. And if there is Gans in a bottle swimming on the surface, then the fields of the Gans interact with the water, loads the water, and so we don't have to waste, for example, distilled water like I do it. Or I had 1 month self-made ball unit from a friend till I forget it in the train, and it was away. That are all also the field unit own experiences, where you have to learn what you are feeling, what is changing with your body. And it takes sometimes a long time till you find out, okay, that had been changed. Or you feel lighter, you feel without heavy weight, what we all have in different life situations on our back. They are all good experiences. And we don't need only plasma bath or drinking something. We can, I think, go more in the direction of fields to have the same results.
Good point. Thank you. And we've been sent a reminder that that it's good for people that are making Ganses to continue making and creating a stockpile of Ganses for others. And this is a good idea, and especially if we run into some bad times or some sort of catastrophe or upheaval or whatever, then that's when the Ganses are especially important, both for emotional conditions and for actual, health issues and various things that can be used for. The plasma first aid kit brochure is a good example of some of the different ways it can be used. So the idea is just to create more and more Ganses, and to be sort of thinking of others as we create our GANs rather than just our own personal needs. So that way it expands our own circle of necessity, you might say, and is a good starting point for creating your own GANs inventory so that you know it's for yourself in case you need it for emergencies, but also for others in their situations. For example, I've just run into a friend that's a farmer, and we determined that he could use lots of Gans water on his farm. And I don't have that much GANs available to be able to facilitate his farm. So now we have to think of a system to come up with a constant supply of GANs and make sure there's all the different devices and different ways and means of applying it can get applied and so on. But I'm thinking back, it would have been good to have a big inventory of GANs water available to me and just be able to say, okay, here's 50 gallons that you can start using right away, and I've got more coming immediately and that kind of thing. So something to think about. That was a suggestion from Peggy. Thank you, Peggy. Well, that was a great testimonial, Andreas. Thank you very much for that.
Yes, very much so. And that's something really easy we could do with the Ganses. And it really helps.
I made a note. Sorry,
I have the question. When Mr. Kesh is saying, try to putting CO2 or 1 Gans in the jar, in the one bottle, and transfer to the other, it's need to making new CO2 or putting the old CO2 in one jar. It's about from experience from 2075.
What do you mean old CO2? Gans?
Which means it's already make CO2. I put in the salt water in one jar. I have 2 jars, one with salt water and putting a little bit drops of Gans and trying to transfer to the other jar. And I thinking like a transferring field and matter, but the salt water, it's between Gans and me for transfer, or it's needed staying in the middle and try to transfer from left or to the right. It's one question, but I think it's not appropriate in this moment. I ask him because perhaps you know what Mr. Keshe want to try, but I ask him from Jalal. Perhaps is better for 3rd stage.
Yeah, I'm not completely clear what you mean there, but I think generally that would be the fields that get transferred, not the materials in that case. I don't know if you'll be able to create GANs from the other jar with GANs in it.
Because when you already have in the water a little bit of GANs for through the field to materialize to create a matter in the other jars, or when you make 1 kit of CO2 with your no purpose, your intention, your field, plasmatic field, materializing in the other jars. you have a copper nano and zinc in one bottle, and to the other you have nothing, only salt water. And for knowing, I create also CO2 in the other bottle because it's close, it's nearly to the first kit, or it's no, it's I think it's to experience separately. It's better thinking myself and not occupy time for.
Well, yeah, we could speculate on it, but you have to do the experiment, I guess, in order to find out any results. If you're wanting to manifest GANs in those jars and so on, you'd have to look at the situation and and determine how you want to set it up, and be a good thing to run in the Kesh plasma reactor group, for example. We could talk about the different aspects of setting it up and how you might want to try different experiments and so on. But it's not really a testimonial until you actually do something and get results from it.
No, this is the idea. Now I thinking, and after in next testimonial, I show you what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And you can show us how it cures your warts as well, or varts. Warts or varts, whatever you have. Okay, thanks, Dan. Okay, anybody else with something they'd like to bring up, or any other questions? Okay, well, let me just go back to the testimonials on the website and see what we have there. Okay, there we had the first one from Bante. There was another one. Tests with a wine grower in the southwest of France, from Ricard, apparently, from Salebouf in France. In the category of gardening, Bernard, Monique, Danielle, and I visited the wine grower, who kindly tested the technology on more than 200 vines on his farm. He is impressed by the progression of the growth of the plants in this plot compared to others that are not under the influence of the fields. Beans have been planted between the rows of vines to bring green manure, and their density and growth is very high under the Maghreb field, only 20 days after laying the pipes. So we will continue from next week. We have just put young vine stalks in CO2 plasma water, waiting to plant them on Thursday. On the same day, the water reserves of the operation are to be conditioned under CO2 in order to eliminate any phyto treatment. Finally, we are developing the flight of our drone to map this evolution of the shoots in a fixed plan above the plot. In short, we are very happy tonight. So that was a nice testimonial that I think we'll hear more from. Yeah, so I was thinking of the last pictures we were seeing of the garden area and the different growth patterns and so on of the plants. Using this new drone technology would be a great way to get an overview of the difference of the rows, or the difference in the two plots in the way the colors, for example, were quite often strikingly different. And that's a good indicator to a gardener of the health of the crop. If there's a deep green color that's as opposed to a yellowy kind of color when they're not as healthy and so on. So that can be seen from above quite easily and can actually be mapped out in a way that's very scientific with color comparisons and volume comparisons and that kind of thing. So that's kind of a neat way to do it. And let me see if I can get that one up. I have another testimonial here. Let me just get it. I have oh yes, okay. So next testimonial is about the consumption of a maggrav. And when you go to the link, I'll just put up the, let's get that set up here, just a second. There we go. Okay, I'll share that. So this is from Monique in France. And this is shows a picture of the consumption. And I'll just read about it first here, then we'll look at the picture. It's a copy of from March 2009, 3rd of March 2019 email. Good evening, Mark. These are my NED statements, energy statements. Startup from 20th September 2017. I already have the link, Computer Intelligent. In two photos, we see the difference in consumption between 2017, 2018. At the beginning of 2019, a change of the place of the maggrav, which was previously near the electrical cabinet, and which I moved to the opposite of the apartment. And apparently the decrease in consumption is maintained. Small problem, I keep reactivating my old supplier who billed me as much as in 2017. Case to be continued. We look forward to sharing during this internship, Monique. It says, note, of course, Monique continues her lifestyle as before the maggrav was installed. So the same electrical consumption as far as she was concerned. But we see on the graph here, as things started, and there was appears to be an increase in 2017. Then the maggrav was started and installed in September of 2017, connected to refrigerator. We see a decrease in the next month, and then a slight increase over that, and then a continued decrease over December, January, and February. And now the consumption in March and April is down to less than a kilowatt, he says, compared to, it's up to 100, and looks to be about 160 or 170 kilowatts maximum during that September run. So very interesting results there. And it continues. You see, that was 2017. And then in 2018, I guess in the winter, there's higher consumption. And it's and again, we see very low consumption over several months. There's some sort of anomaly counter. And then in 2019, we see for September, October, November, December, January, February, March are all very, very low readings. So now they're looking at the difference in consumption between 2017, 2018. It looks to be about maybe 20% of the 25% of the consumption of 2017 and 2018. And now we see in 2019, this consumption is maybe 5% of the consumption of 2017 and about maybe 20% of the consumption of 2018. So it's really good in 2019. He mentions at the beginning of 2019, the maggrav that was previously near the electrical cabinet, and that I'd moved to the opposite side of the apartment. And apparently the consumption drop is still going on. So very, very nice report there. Quite incredible, actually. If we were able to see all of these graphs put together of 2017, 18, and 19, we'd be able to see the really big drop over that period of time. Well, thanks to Monique from France and Mark. Okay. Back to the testimonials page here. That was last one was testimony of consumption of a maggrav under the energy category, and you can click on the link there to go there and see the actual images. And actually, you have to cut and paste that link, not click on it. And we also have, don't think we've looked at this before. I think I did mention it last time, but perhaps I didn't read the whole thing. I'll read maybe some parts of it. This is about, well, in French, it's, well, someone would do better than mine. Processus de création de gans de nourriture. And basically, it's the process of the creation of nourishing gans, or gans from food, gans of food. So it mentions gans of food, gans in a nanosolid equals gans in a nanosolid state. Sorry, gas in a nanosolid equals gas in the nanosolid state. That's, anyway, GANs. Material, your intention, number 1. 2, all the food you want, preferably organic, not non-animal. 1 glass jar with 1.5 liters or 2 liters and a seal. Pure NaOH caustic soda, easily found in do-it-yourself stores. Gloves or goggles, aluminum foil, 1 nylon tights. I guess I mean nylon, like nylons that a woman might wear. String, glass jar with a plastic lid for about 1 liter. 2 sterile syringes, 20 milliliters or more. Plastic spoon. 1 30 milliliter glass tube with targeted metal stopper, but with a tight seal inside, aromatic type. Okay. Okay, I'll read some of the rest of this. For the creation of this particular Gans, I did it in August for the maximum conditions of heat and solar radiation. I put all my heart and full of good intentions, because at this stage we talk about feeding, either partially or totally, depending on each. Here is the process I followed. Being vegetarian, my choice was all that nature could offer me, so I got a small piece of each fruit and vegetable bio, more than a dozen fruits and as many vegetables. Then seeds such as quinoa, rice, spelt, wheat, buckwheat, cashew nuts, but also spices of all kinds, an assortment of dry flower petals, and finally spirulina type sequins. Use the glass jar with the seal, preferably 1.5 to 2 liters. Now we fill the jar with the beauty that nature has offered us, with respect, because we will break it down into nanoparticles and use its energy. Place on the food 60 grams of pure caustic soda, then prepare 1 liter of boiling water. Caution: when refilling, the vaporing water from the vapors will release under the effect of contact with the NaOH. Protect yourselves with gloves and eyewear, and especially make this in the outside. Pour the water fast enough. Immediately close the lid, clip it, and if there's a surplus of gas, it will leak through the seal of the lid. Do not open it before the end of the process. From this moment, the process begins. I advise you to place your jar in the sun on a sheet of aluminum to capture a maximum of solar energy, and that will also help the decomposition. Do not forget to put a lot of good intentions, because you transmit your energy. The decomposition will be more or less fast, depending on the size and the density of the food. So now, during the whole process, it is up to you to create the interaction according to your feelings. If you have to take it out to get it in, to put it back at a certain place in the house, if I have to stir it regularly or not, the time of the process can easily take a month. You must eventually see a kind of molasses with a dark liquid. Once again, it's up to you to decide with your intentions. Never touch Gans with fingers or iron. Open the jar, place a nylon tights around the hole, and nylon stocking is another way to put that. Place a nylon tights around the hole and attach firmly with the string or other. This will filter. Prepare the second 1 liter glass jar with the plastic lid. Will be your final container, or the Gans will form. Empty all the liquid carefully, because this is where the nanoparticles are. Add filtered or osmosis water to fill the new jar and close it. You must wait until all the nanoparticles have come down again, about 48 hours. That means settling. Remove the lid and start rinsing using a syringe. It'll be necessary to leave a quarter of the liquid at the bottom of the jar, not to suck the nanoparticles. This rinsing is intended to extract the residues and the information of the sodium hydroxide. Repeat this process 3 times. The rinse completed, refill the jar with pure water, and then ideally add 3 or 4 drops of copper oxide Gans or CO2 for better conservation over time, and let it rest at least 15 days for the Gans to create. It will develop on the surface of the amino acids that you will withdraw from with the help of the plastic spoon and place them in a small glass jar closed with pure water. Never consume the Gans. It is their gravitational magnetic fields that interest us. Here we are. Stir the jar lightly for suspended Gans. Take another sterile syringe to suck the plasma water informed of the food Gans. Then fill the glass tube, leaving 2 centimeters. Then add a few amino acids and aim its cap firmly. Place your tube of food Gans in a large glass of water and let it inform the water for about 25 minutes or as you feel. Remove the glass tube and drink the water informed, and you're fed. Use it according to your needs. Keep your Gans tube far from electromagnetic waves such as Wi-Fi or mobile phone and from the direct sunlight. Remember to protect it in a box, a cover, or other during transport. On the first sips, listen to your body. Do you want to drink everything at once? Our knowledge, our understanding has just spread on the plasma scale or the universal dimension. A new way of seeing a new way of seeing life, food, and energies. Make beautiful experiences. A solution against hunger in the world, and especially share your knowledge, your experiences. Keep your creation away from electromagnetic waves, direct sunlight, and in a temperate place. A very big thank you to Melis, Luke, the Kesh Foundation, and to you, Mr. Kesh, with all my heart. And there's a French version that the translation was taken from. And again, that's from Palarmes in France, Lot et Garonne, I believe. So quite a thorough testimonial there. It's pretty much ready for the Plasma Scientific Journal, as that is. So I recommend, and we do recommend people that are willing to go through and make a testimonial to go the extra step and just fill out the form for the Plasma Scientific Journal, and that way we can get it published in the Plasma Times and have it out there for everybody to experience, and then it'll also be have a permanent place in the KF Wikipedia under the Plasma Scientific Journal entries. Okay, let's see if we have anything else. Might be. Yeah, I think we did the washer balls experiment last time, so. All right, that's it for the on the testimonial site. Anybody else have anything they'd like to show and tell here today? Oh, we're up to 3 hours and 20 minutes or something, or I guess we started a bit late, so we're just over 3 hours. So that's probably a good show for today.
Rick?
Hello? It sounds like Peggy.
It is.
Hi, Peggy.
Hi. I had a beautiful pair of headsets just materialize here. I broke my headset yesterday and poof, they were replaced just a few moments ago. So I can join in now. I just wanted to say that is my testimonial. You know,
you made a wish and it came true.
There it is. The universe will provide if there is a need, and your ethos is on the correct path. You know, put your hand out.
I think your need is that you want to talk about another testimonial before I interrupted, correct?
No, actually, I was just wanting to say thank you very, very much for all you do for the foundation and for this lovely meeting today.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thought you might want to talk about your pepper plant, your chocolate pepper plant. And
well, if you're not tired of hearing about it, it is doing fantastic. I'd like to brag like a proud mama.
Well, if you could give us a quick update here on the day after Mother's Day, maybe that would be appropriate.
It has survived winter very well. The three, actually there ended up being 5 peppers that came through over winter time. The first 3 I did end up removing because of getting frostbite from some hailstorms. But I waited till they turned brown, but they were very soft. And then there were 2 more that had come up and they just turned brown. One is still soft, but both of these came during hailstorms, so I don't know how their fruit's going to be, but they're ready. Probably tomorrow I will take them. But the most beautiful thing is I had 18 buds, blossoms. I now have, out of the 18 blossoms, I now have 4 fruits that are sizable starting and a number of buds that are just starting to turn into a fruit. So it is such a happy, happy plasma oasis here for the plants and for us. So thank you. That is the update on the chocolate bell pepper plant. Thank you, Rick.
Perfect. Thank you, Peggy. I'll just show a couple of pictures of what a chocolate bell pepper looks like from Peggy's pictures here. And this is her testimonial from March 2019. That was in the Plasma Scientific Journal. And we've got a whole testimonial here of when the caterpillars hit. And here's the peppers that are recovering on the plant. And she's given us the latest update there. Maybe you can have some pictures for next time around, Peggy. That would be great.
Absolutely, Rick. I will do that for you and for all.
Shall I say it or you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
This has been, thank you, everybody. This has been the 30th Public Testimonials meeting. And thank you, everyone. This has been a broadcast of the KFSSI Education Department. And we'll have another show next month, the second Monday of
June 10th.
June 10th, thank you. At the same time, 8 p.m. Central European time. See you all that time around and prepare your testimonials if you can. And if you can prepare them in a thorough way, that would be so lovely to send as the Plasma Scientific Journal entry, similar to what Peggy did there. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time around.
And also this coming Tuesday, 4 p.m. Central European time is our One Planet, One Nation, One Race for World Peace meeting. So join us on this same number Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Flint. And thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
Hello. We are the Kesh Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshfoundation.org/donate.
Are you ready for a cost-effective, successfully proven innovation in pain relief? You need wait no longer. Introducing the Kesh Pain Pad. Using plasma technology, which is based on magnetic gravitational field interaction, the Kesh Pain Pad emits plasma fields that penetrate up to 3 centimeters below the skin, helping to bring the body back to balance. The Kesh Pain Pad offers a natural way to relieve acute and chronic pain for both young and old. All you have to do is apply the pad on affected areas for 1 or 2 hours once or twice a day. It's made with adaptive elastics that can form organically and comfortably to the contours of your body. It has no moving parts or batteries, it's lightweight, durable, easy to wear and easy to remove. The Kesh Pain Pad successfully reduces muscular pain, tendinitis, wrist pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, back pain, pain from sprains and strains, and knee pain, just to name a few. For a full list of relievable pains, consult the owner's manual or go to our website at www.keshfoundation.org. The Kesh Pain Pad, a cost-effective, successfully proven, natural way to relieve your pain.
Plasma products found at keshfoundation.org/store. Soothing, reusable plasma eye and migraine mask. Eliminate eye fatigue and relieve stress in eye area. European certified medical device. Massaging plasma insoles. Bring comfort back to your feet and energize your legs. European CE certified medical device. Antiseptic plasma liquid hand soap. Promotes well-being and relaxation with protective plasma formula. CE certified. One Soul Plasma T-shirt. Gans formula within the symbols and stripes brings mind, soul, and body into balance. European certified. Pain Relief Pen. Emits a concentrated plasma field at point of pain, efficient up to 3 centimeters below the skin. CE certified. The Magrav's Energizer and Alkalizer raises pH and energizes water through magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Pain Relief Pad, a result of years of research in nanoplasma technology with magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Visit the online store at keshfoundation.org/store or find a distributor near you. Tax and shipping not included.